We're wrapping up our series on the good life with a discussion on the potential of flourishing in modern society. Are we beyond the optimal human experience? Let's talk about it on From What We've Gathered with Dani Nelson and Kylie Shahar.
In the land of teeter totters, I prefer a slide. Turbulent or gentle waters, let's go for a ride.
Hey, Kylie.
Hi, Dani.
So are you ready to finally just start living the good life?
After all, I guess I am.
I mean, after these 11 episodes or so.
I think I have the answer.
You've uploaded all of the answers?
Yeah.
Well, I have a scenario
Uh-oh.
for you to apply
Okay.
all of this learning to.
Let's hear it.
Okay. You're just sitting at home. Knock on the door. There's a person, and they're like, listen, here's the thing. You are now going to officially not go to work for the next 5 years. You're going to make the same amount of money that you make currently.
Direct deposit?
You're not making more or less. It's direct deposit.
Okay.
You don't have to.
That's what I was most concerned about.
You're like, it will take away from my flourishing if I have to go deposit a check.
A check every... Yeah. Not doing that. Not doing that.
Yeah. So, but the one qualification for accepting this
Sweet deal.
paid non-work time is you have to put your time towards living the good life. Mm-hmm. That's the only assignment. Mm-hmm. Your time has to be spent moving toward the good life.
Okay.
There's some other rules we can put on it.
Sure.
If you try and go too askew.
Right.
Like, don't try and get a second job.
Right. I see.
This isn't.
Okay.
Let's just go ahead and say that I don't believe that the good life necessarily is scrambling for dollars every second of your day.
Right. I can get behind that.
This is probably surprising to anyone who's ever listened to this podcast that I would say something so anti-capitalism.
Cold take.
So you're not moving, this isn't a winning the lottery, right?
Right. Okay. So living within the same means as I have been, but the only difference is just that my time is now completely freed up.
Yep.
Because I'm not going to work.
For you to work on the concept of the good life.
Okay.
No one's telling you what it is. They're not giving you a pamphlet or anything.
Right.
You just have to sign your signature and for 5 years.
Live the good life.
Live the good life.
So I feel like... Okay, right. So here's the thing. Maybe I'm not going to maybe this is a cop-out and I won't fully answer it from what I would do. But I feel like most people, and then I'm lumping myself up in this, would be like you're like, all right, I signed the agreement with the Good Life sales rep, whatever. And then I close the door. I'm like, all right, I am Netflixing. I am eating popcorn. I'm just going to go hang out.
Yep.
I'm going to go hang out.
Yeah.
I'm going to go hang out. I'm going to lounge. I'm going to rest. I'm going to recover. I might, sort of take up new hobbies. I don't know. Probably not. I probably will just do the things that I'm already interested in doing, like doing some baking, making some sourdough things, maybe adding to my paintings that are sitting outside, just kind of like, but probably a lot of time will be spent
resting. And I think that I agree with you. And this partially too, like I did over the last couple of weeks since we've known this is sort of a general that we were heading toward having this episode where we kind of have to wrap up the good life, which is the biggest question.
Yeah.
It's all of the things. And one of the things that is, a lot of people just say no. They're like, literally, I just want to do nothing.
Yeah.
If I could just do nothing.
I would just do nothing.
Like read a book.
Yeah.
Lay around in my lounger.
Yeah.
Like, just a lot of, it's almost with a sigh. This like dreamy, far away sigh. And it's one of the things that when, is this possible in modern society? Because we have commodified leisure. Like leisure is something you earn.
Yeah.
It's something like it's something that's like you have to work very hard for. Because if you didn't work hard for it, you almost don't deserve it.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, why am I sitting around?
Yeah.
I should be doing
Right. ...
whatever the thing is. And so I do, a lot of people, so you've leisured, you have unlimited 5 years of leisure.
Yeah.
You as a human being, now you, not in representative of all these leisure seeking people, but you as a human being, how long do you think that you could sit around and watch Netflix before you got bored out of your mind?
2 weeks.
I think I have 2 weeks in me too. I think I have at least 2 weeks.
Yeah. And then I think I'd start to be like, all right, what are we doing here? Like, I might be like, okay, maybe because of what you just said, maybe I start to feel guilty. Like, I don't,
This is the good life.
Like, yeah. Are we sure? Like, I have to earn something. And so maybe it's that, or maybe it's also just like I'm just driven to want to do something. Like, I don't know, I probably would be like, you know what, now's a good time to grow some tomatoes, have a little herb garden, like, yeah, do some more baking, maybe like get on the meal prep. Yeah. I can never really I just, you know what I'm saying?
I'm like, I cannot imagine you having the time to do meal prep, because your time is a huge commodity, even unto yourself.
Yeah.
You're like, my brain doesn't even have time for that. Because it needs to be on a
trying to do something
out-of-state call. Yeah. Being smart.
Out-of-state call.
Like a Zoom meeting. Out-of-state call.
Out-of-state call.
Kylie's been joining in at a university's class that's out-of-state.
Out-of-state.
For,
as one does.
Because people are smart, and she is. That's her over there. But this is like this idea that I have where I think that most human beings want an occupation. I don't mean that by like occupation as in this is what you get paid for. Mm-hmm. Not in that way. I'm talking about your mind being preoccupied with something your body is then doing. It's that you spend your time doing a thing.
Right.
And when the money is taken out of it, and you're prescribed this thing of living the good life, what becomes the occupation of a good life? Mm-hmm. And so we thought that we would hit on, all of these philosophers that we just talked about in a lot of different areas. Virtue. We had the Hellenistic people. We really focused on the need to be a virtuous person, and that, that by becoming a virtuous person, that's going to lead you to a flourishing life, which I think, because of wisdom, you would know how to have occupation. You would know how to preoccupy your time, because you're virtuous. And then we talked about, mind-body difference. Mm-hmm. We talked about education. We talked about all of these things from different perspectives of what is included in the good life. But the way that we wanted to go at it today, and this idea of like human beings want a preoccupation, and the reason why we don't believe, because Kylie, you guys might not know this, sometimes Kylie and I talk before the episode to establish
what,
either if we have common understandings or
where
opposites,
we diverge, or yeah.
And one thing that we could both agree on is this: it is very much an individual thing. There is no prescription to the good life that we've found that gives you a step-by-step guide.
Yeah.
Even religion, which you could argue maybe gives you a kind of step-by-step guide of how to... You still have to make the decision to live your life that way, and to like, you know...
And make other finer grained choices about how you are going to fulfill certain kinds of what you take to be duties or obligations of a religious or service-based nature. Like, you still have to make decisions where, nobody's like maybe in some cases, but that's not, like, your agency as a human being just means that you can carve out a path for yourself, that you are a being that is capable of self-determination.
Yep.
And obviously in our upbringing, we need like a lot of help with that. But then eventually, right? Hopefully, maybe. I don't know.
Not me.
No.
I came out full grown.
You're like,
I had ideas.
and you have to figure out how, like, you have to form those ideas. You have to figure out how to implement those ideas into like your reality. You have to find out, you have to like seek out the different means to go achieve your goals. Like there's so much, what some ancient philosophers might call, practical wisdom.
Yep.
That is required of you, that you gather through experience and so on. But like, nobody's telling you what to do or how to do it. And that just makes sense that nobody could really,
or they're not telling you what to do and how to do it in the capacity that they're trying to lead you to live the best good life.
Yes, exactly.
And so, because we've touched on so many kind of academic and like, all of these different philosophers, different ways, concepts, we kind of wanted to sort out this idea of individual good life into the process of going after different interests. Mm-hmm. And we're separating those by mind, spirit, and body, like why there's not a prescription that is just for everyone.
Yeah.
And so within the body, so just like this was one thing that we were talking about, this idea of someone who wants to be like, oh, the good life is not having any responsibilities and being completely at my leisure, scrolling all day, watching TV all day, reading all day, whatever. But there's kind of a lounging thing. That would be absolute torture to someone who was an Olympic athlete.
Yeah.
Like even with this same proposition, like, hey, you don't have to do the thing that earns you money. And let's just pretend like Olympic athletes get paid, even though really most of them will pay hundreds of thousands of dollars over their lives for training and being and, all of those things. But that their good life would be like, oh, I am free to run 10, 20, 30 miles a day.
Yeah.
Yay.
Right.
I get to spend my whole day like honing in on every movement, every heartbeat, my stride, my whatever.
Yeah.
And I never have to worry about like how I'm paying my bills because now I'm just able to focus on those things. Those are two very different people.
For sure.
If someone came and told me that I had to do weightlifting 6 hours a day, actually, I'd probably be like, that sounds fun.
I know. I'm like, give me a challenge.
Like, let's do it. But let's say something that I don't think is as fun. Yeah. Like running.
Running. I hate running.
I would be like, that's not the good life.
Yeah. If somebody was like, hey, guess what? You will have direct deposit of your current salary for the next 5 years. All you have to do is train for ultra marathons. I'd be like, I'm out.
You'd be like, why would I do that? I'm just going to do my job.
Yeah, that's not what I want to do. That's not, if my time was freed up in that way, I would not at all like to fill up my time with running.
Yeah.
In the same way that I might be like, yeah, I'll lounge.
But if you look at the good life as being like the optimal human being, which someone like Aristotle might be like, the point of a good life is to live the best possible human experience.
Yeah.
And to reach the ideal human state, he definitely would be like, athletics are in there.
For sure.
But I think even he would agree that yes, not everyone is meant to be
an ultra athlete,
an
Olympian.
Ultra athlete, because you may just not have the body for it.
Right.
Although he might be like, well, that's unfortunate. You can't flourish.
Yeah. Right.
But I mean, this idea of like that, it doesn't even have to be that wild though, because if you're a virtuous person, you do want to have a reasonably healthy body.
Yeah.
Like I do think I would, if I had never to work and unlimited time, I would take way more dance classes.
Oh yeah, totally.
Like I love dance classes.
Yeah.
I would just make that a part of my, right now it's just not something that I fit into my week, but I used to.
Right.
But other things took that kind of point of view. And it's just another example of like, that's my body just wants to move. It doesn't want to just be on the couch.
Idle. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I think, this is, part of this is getting at the fact that like, although all human beings share in some sense an evolutionary psychology, like there are there are broad brush strokes, call them, of similarities with regard to all human beings, just in virtue of like the kind of critter that we are. But despite that, we see obviously radical differences in the kinds of personalities that we develop. And part of those personalities involve different hobbies and interests. And so we are such different people in that sense that, that our hobbies and the things that might interest us will necessarily lead to very different pictures of what it looks like to live a good life for you. But like, I think part of what we're also getting at here is, again, going back to thinking about the fact that human beings on the whole share like a similar kind of basic psychology. There is something to this idea that despite the fact that you're not an ultra athlete or an aspiring Olympian, there's still like, call it movement, that you need or that you seek, like biofeedback, right?
Yes.
That you need as a human, as a biped, that you need to like walk a little bit.
And this is where the virtues come back in, right? Like it's really easy to be like, those are old ideas, and to like move away from the prescriptiveness of like being like, you must, have justice and courage and know how to have things be moderate and be wise. All of these things go towards those decisions, right? Yeah. Knowing yourself well enough to know I'm neither an ultra athlete, nor am I someone who can be completely kind of, that could find happiness with what I'll call laziness.
Yeah. Right.
Unlimited leisure.
Yeah.
To sit around. Another part of that is the spirit.
Yeah.
So, we kind of talked through, there are the type of people who within the good life might say, well, there's no way to reach flourishing, someone like Thomas Aquinas, unless you are working towards this goal of uniting with God.
Religious devotion.
Yep.
Or being with the divine.
Yep. And we're expanding that too to people who would then spend unlimited amount of time like meditating. Those same people. So I had called some friends because like I said, I had been asking,
Dani was doing science. Okay. Dani was surveying.
I was data collecting. I thought you were going to say serving.
Serving.
Dani was serving
while
questions.
She was surveying, doing her empirical data collection. Thank you for your hard work.
I did have on a blazer. I did not have on a blazer, but I will because I love them.
Next time.
I'll put on a blazer anytime. I asked some friends, like, what is the good life? And kind of proposed to them, like, if this idea of flourishing, not what you guys are getting with the they didn't get a whole representative giving them unlimited.
Yeah, they didn't get that.
The question was just proposed to them. Would you value leisure over becoming the ideal or going after the ideal human experience? And one of the things that came out of that discussion was this idea of like the meditative practice and how it's not just having leisure isn't necessarily, or like stillness is not necessarily like leisure as we think of it, because with meditation, the internal journey that is happening because they have the time, the unlimited time to have this internal experience, is the work now, right? Like the work is being able to take those journeys and spend the time and have the ease of doing that. But that is, oftentimes, like, 'cause even originally when we were talking about this example, we're just trying to think through different kind of people in life that are not necessarily similar to us,
Yeah.
but would have such a drastically different kind of focus.
Yeah.
And then another part of this focus on spirituality and even within meditation and things like that, because imagine, again, you have unlimited time for meditation. How many more people would try it?
Right. Yeah, no, for sure.
How many more people would make it a part of their daily day? Like, I cannot tell you how many therapists have just been like, have you ever thought about meditation?
I know. I'm like, I don't have time.
I'm not even like, I don't have time. I'm like, what? Have you seen me sit still?
No, I know.
Okay, I
know. Well, it almost feels like, and this is probably just an indication that I really desperately need meditation in my life, but I'm like, I feel like I don't have the mental space
to sit still.
To just sit still and I'm like, cause obviously, and this is like the hurdle of meditation, like I would just be sitting there trying not to think about all of the things
that you
on
need
my
to be
checklist.
doing. Yeah, the checklist. Yeah, the constant mental checklist. Yeah. Which is a part of when I talk about leisure becoming a commodity, this is part of it. That mental checklist that we as people just constantly keep on the move is exhausting unto itself.
Yes. Which is why we're so immediately like, if somebody tells me for the next 5 years you get your salary and you don't have to work, which is why probably so many of us are just immediately like, I am just gonna rest. Yeah. I'm just gonna chill. I'm just gonna relax.
Because our minds are like never allowed to be in that space of like, that there's not a thing we're supposed to be doing or something for work to prepare or the next activity that has to be done. Like all of those assignments prevent us from maybe reaching these higher goals. And another part of that, when we look at, the idea that justice is a virtue is how you participate within society. When people dedicate themselves to like religious practice or even this deep contemplation meditation, this likely leads them to more societal kind of investment. Like they are in their communities more. Yeah. They are expanding their connection with nature, therefore looking to be in nature, therefore preserving more nature.
Exactly.
Like there's all of these steps. There's all these things in society that have the potential for huge change just by people having time to do whatever they want. Like, that idea of doing whatever you want. So the other one we wanted to talk about too, is mind too. So we don't want to like not speak on the mind because, of course, for me, this is something because I've always been a free range learner. Out in the world.
A free range chicken.
Different than a free range chicken.
In very important ways.
I have laid my eggs many a place.
Which are ideas.
So many ideas. But because I've always just been able to like kind of pick at and be curious about and, kind of like, for me, the idea that I would have the time to read all of Aristotle, or to like, there's a lady that I was introduced to, Anscombe, this last year that she's like the most dry, sarcastic philosopher ever, but I'm like fascinated. Yeah. I want to know more about her views in the world, but when do I get to just go and have that? And so this idea that for the mind and that all of these people are curious, and it's not just academic, although both of us are like, ooh, the places my mind would go.
Exactly. Oh, all the things I could learn about now.
Well, and not just like, I think for you, because you already are such an academic, I think you would take academic stances and things like bread making. Like you're like, leisure. Totally. My idea of leisure includes that in your fun time, you like to do baking.
Yes. Yeah.
But I think that and every time you bake, you're always like, ooh, I should shift this a little bit this way or do that a little bit different. Or I like this, but what if it had this, you would
Yeah.
you would just,
Oh, I would just do that. And then I would gift all my friends
yes,
all of the,
because a rule is you can't have a second job.
Right.
So you cannot
I'm not making
make
money.
it into a money thing.
but I can barter.
And you can be like, now I am rich in thought about how to make bread for Dani Nelson.
Yeah. But I mean, I think a lot of people can probably identify with this. Is it's like there are so many, one learns some things in school once upon a time, and then your sort of life kind of, carries on, and then you end up in a career, or you end up, doing something very specific that occupies so much of your time, which just means
a third of your life.
And, that just means that there's less time that you have to just study things for fun, like learn about different species of birds that live near you, or learn about different gardening practices and get really sort of, call it scientific about the ecosystem in your backyard. And you want to learn about how this plant, what kind of soil this plant thrives in, and how to revive this other plant, and how, like all of these things that
What's every bug in my yard? I love bugs.
Yeah, and maybe you put it into action, but maybe it's literally just for the sake of knowing more things about the ecosystem or about these different kinds of bugs. But we don't have maybe you can try to do this at the end of your work. You finish your work day, and then if you have kids, right?
Yep.
Or if you have other obligations or a second job, by the time your day proper comes to an end, and you have quote unquote time for yourself.
Free time, so-called free time.
It's like late in the evening, you're exhausted. You sit down with your book and you fall asleep 5 minutes into it, right? And so you don't really have the time or the energy to put into. I think if for a lot of people too, maybe one thing that they would think they would spend their free time doing is just learning about all these things that are interesting, but they've just not had the opportunity to pursue.
Yep.
And, it's a different, like you said, with meditation and religious practice and so forth, like it's a different kind of idleness. It's being still,
right,
but still occupying your mind with a great deal of information, reflection, mental exercise, mental activity, that looks obviously very different from the, Olympian or aspiring Olympian or athlete who wants to devote, yes, obviously that takes a lot of mental energy too, but wants to really hone in, the physical body and with scientific precision, weighing all of the macronutrients that you're consuming to get exactly the physique that you need to be able to achieve this or that. That looks obviously very different than sitting down and reading about carpenter bees.
or someone who's more engineer oriented, like someone who's like, I want to learn how to fix grandfather clocks because they're all, this is a thing that's dying. Like all the people who know how like classic clocks and watches and stuff work. Like there's very few people who like have the ability to take them apart and fix them. And so that person with that little nerdy microscope jeweler thing on their face is not the same as the Olympian. But who's to say who's flourishing? If
or
they had this free
isn't.
time.
Right, exactly.
Like if they had all of this free time, they are enriching their own human experience. And this is the thing, another, thing that, when I brought up to some friends about Aristotle, or Aristotle really believes that you there's a minimum things you have to flourish. You have to have house. Well, let's not say house. You have to have shelter. You have to have warmth. You have to have knowledge. You have to have food. Mm-hmm. You have to have a general, let's say, well-being. I know that's a loaded. Mm-hmm. Kylie's even looking at me like, well-being has its own, kind of stratosphere to be in. But she reminded me that above all else, Aristotle's main thing is that contemplation, a life of contemplation, is the highest form of flourishing and the human experience and being within the human experience. And you could argue that all of these examples that we've made about the mind, body, and soul are all very contemplative.
Yes.
Because whether you are trying to be better, make every mile be 2 seconds less.
Yeah.
Or you're trying to like put a screw so that the Earth's, magnetism is just right for your clock pendulum or whatever, whatever happens in clocks. I don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know.
Nobody
I don't know
knows.
why there's magnets. I love magnets, and my husband thinks they're magic. So that's obviously.
They kind of are.
And when I asked my husband, he said that a life of flourishing is living with Dani Nelson. No.
That's definitely not what he said. But it's what he thought.
It is. It's what was in his heart.
It's what was in his heart.
That he was unable to voice with that. And so, to bring this kind of to this conversation to a roundabout way, the 5 years are over. So you've had 5 years to just get paid, live the good life. Do you think, thought experiment, you guys may remember from Nosing, the old thought experiment, would you live your life the same way going back after only getting to spend your time flourishing? Would your life be set up in the same way it is currently? Or do you think that it would change? And if it is the case that you think it would change, why wouldn't you just change it now?
I love it. I mean, no, I mean, it's, yeah. I think probably most of us would say, I can't just spend time reading about carpenter bees. I can't just spend time weighing all the macronutrients in my food to make sure I'm getting exactly the right nutrients that I need to meet my, athletic goals.
Yep.
And it's like, yeah, that's absolutely right. That's absolutely true. Like we are, in fact, operating within constraints that for the most part are unchangeable.
Yep.
Like you cannot change the fact that you need to earn a wage to pay your bills, to sustain the basic structures around you to allow you to then maybe, go on trips, go travel, take up your hobbies. I mean, hey, I'm not saying that it's not possible. Certainly there are so many different creative ways of living a flourishing life without making a wage or working for the man, right? Yeah, like don't get it twisted. You can do all of this.
Yep.
Like one of my friends lived in a cave in Mexico for an extended period of time. Like that's just what he did.
Yeah.
And I think he really enjoyed it. I mean, obviously it comes with a different set of challenges.
And you said he did, which means he doesn't anymore.
He doesn't anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we can ask him, we can ask him about that. Whether
Maybe
he took
he'll
himself
reply
be
to this episode.
Yeah, I hope he does. But right, it's like, so there are certain constraints you might think within which you're operating and choices that you can make and decisions to switch things up and move things around. Like if you utterly hate your job, you can find a new one.
Yep.
If you utterly hate working full stop, you can find another way. I don't know. You know? But it's like,
if you put your energy towards that. Now, we do realize people have children.
yeah,
They have other
you
responsibilities.
do have to take care of your kids.
Unfortunately, we're not prescribing. No. First of all, we can't give you prescriptions.
No, and you cannot take them to go live in a cave in Mexico. I think. I just wouldn't do that.
I don't think you should do that to a kid.
Yeah.
But what we are saying is right now there are opportunities to make small adjustments toward the good life. And that's not for us to tell you what they are, because only you can know what are the things that are like missing in such a way that it's preventing you from having the optimal experience. If this is the one experience, let's just say you're religious and you believe in going to heaven, then this is still your one human experience.
Yeah.
You won't be a human again, or you will be human, but you'll be with God. Even from that standpoint, it's your one experience. If you're an atheist, you really believe this is your one experience, you know? So there are little things you can do. For example, one thing I've done recently is I take apps off my phone constantly now. Like if I find that I check my, how long were you on your phone today? What is that called?
I forget.
Daily. Oh, anyways, and it was too much. Like I didn't like it. I just take it off my phone.
The thing that checks the thing?
No.
Oh, the app.
The app.
Oh.
For instance, I have no social apps on my phone
Yeah.
anymore. I have to be sitting
At a desktop.
That's in order to see the socials.
Yeah, me too.
And for me, that's like, I think that has been very helpful to me, because one thing that I have acknowledged, especially in the last year, is that the part of the internet that has taken every bit of human psychology and understands exactly what we want to be looking at all the time knows me too good. And I don't have those kind of intimate relationships with anyone.
Yeah,
Much less with these computers that know me too good.
Totally.
I do want to buy those things. I do want to watch 40 clips of this person doing puppetry. But I also would like to go outside and garden.
Yeah.
And because of the old ADHD,
Yeah.
the old oddie hottie,
Hotty.
it's like I like to call it, my executive function does not make it easy for me to get off of it. But I mean, that's just an example of stuff in everybody's life that's distracting them. Are you obsessed with the news? Do you know how many people I know that are just nonstop addicted to the news? And just, you know, it is, it's hard to say. But what we are trying to say is there are ways for you to take these ideas that we've shared over all of these episodes and use them for general contemplation in your everyday life.
Right. It's like one of the strategies, if you want to call it that is always available to you, especially given the fact that you are a human being. And it's probably like because you're a human being with this capacity for contemplation, this is, you know, a so-called strategy that is employable to examine your life at any juncture, whether things feel calm and good or whether things feel chaotic and unsettled.
Yep.
Like to put yourself and your life as the subject of your own contemplation, even without like necessarily trying to solve a problem. You're not trying to solve a problem. You're not necessarily trying to, you know, mitigate certain undesirable circumstances, but just the very sheer act of turning your mind's eye inward and examining your own life, examining your own mind, examining your set of values, the things that you take to be valuable, that you take to make meaning, produce meaning in your life. Just reflecting on these things, contemplating these things can do important work to, I don't know, I like hesitate to say, but I will say shift your perspective around the good life. Because it's like, this is what's so fascinating about human nature, human beings. We are contemplative creatures who can, maybe because of language, understand ourselves and other people and our relationship to other people and the world in such vivid and robust and like magical ways, in a way that, like, as much as we love them, our cats and our dogs, like they feel excitement, the tail wag, like they feel feelings, and so do we. But they don't contemplate. Right. They don't reflect. I'm not saying, look, I'm not, you know, I'm not saying that there's, I'm not insulting them.
I've known some smart dogs.
I've known some smart dogs too. And smart cat. And like, you know, an ability to bond. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, there's some things to say about the internal, that we don't really have access to, but there are things that we can say that, like, the internal life, the internality of like a dog and a cat, I'm sure is rich in certain ways, but they don't have language. And I think the ability to have discourse like this.
Yep.
So, it's not that it just transforms an otherwise animalistic way of living your life. It just is this unique
human
thing. Existence that, because we are the kind of creature that can do this thing, we should do this thing.
We should be doing it.
We should be contemplating.
And it improves so many things. Like, my study in philosophy has made me such a better wife and friend and not really family member. I'm like terrible at being a family member, but I'm going to keep working on it. I've been working on it this whole time.
Yes, I can attest.
Since the beginning.
Since the beginning of time, in fact.
And since the beginning of my existence.
Your time.
Whenever that was.
Yeah.
But so since this is the end of the season, I just want to go ahead. We have our thank yous that are coming out to you, but thank you for listening to this series in particular. It was a little bit longer, but I think we got to hit on some really amazing ideas from people, like that we focused on ideas from some really famous philosophers that aren't the usual ideas that everyone's looking at.
Yeah.
Like, that was something that we had fun doing.
Yeah.
Is like, yeah, everybody knows them for nihilism.
Yeah.
Why don't we
talk
about the positive parts of their idealism and stuff with society? And so I hope that you've enjoyed it. Thank you for any part that you listened to.
Thank you for coming along on this journey with us.
Yeah, the internal one.
The internal journey.
Dun, 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 dun.
Interny. From What We Gathered is brought to you with gratitude by Tyler Olson, our sound producer, editor, performance wrangler, Dani Nelson, co-host and producer, and me, co-host Kylie Shahar. A special thanks to Sam Fisher for our music, and thank you to those from whom we've gathered, our teachers, scholars, historians, lovers of wisdom, the internet, and of course, thank you, our listeners.